We're 6.5 years apart. Well, he was born in this house in his now bedroom, but my parents like to say how I was the one who identified that he was a boy.
I didn't know she existed.
You didn't know I existed.
Yeah, you didn't know.
But I was excited to have a baby brother. I guess, where should we begin?
Shall we unveil the comics?
Oh, yeah. Well, about 5 years ago, we went on a family trip to Portland during Easter, and there was, in this grocery store, there was this giant Easter bunny called Big Binks or something.
It was 2 pounds of chocolate.
It was 2 pounds of chocolate.
Okay.
And then from there
Not available
evolved... Here. How would we describe it? Basically,
so
we have...
they were very, she's Bet, Big Bet,
I'm Big
and
Bet.
I originally was Little Bits, but that didn't make sense because bits are little, it's redundant, so
right.
I'm just kind of Bits or Big Bits. The idea is that Bet is very big and large and just a very big person, bigger than imaginable, bigger than life, and I, Bits, am just very fat and kind of round and circular. So how it kind of worked is... so the bits originated from the bunny we saw in the store. Right. And then Betty, I came up with it because she used to be called Princess Monica Betsy. So it was a name she insisted on being called for reasons of
when
explained.
I was little.
So I just kind of took from that Princess Monica Betsy, Betty,
Betty,
mm-hmm.
and Bits.
Yeah.
Betty and Bits. Okay,
exactly.
Perfect. Okay.
And then that was kind of our thing.
That's kind of how we came up with this weird... bond.
And then we love words that start with B.
We love B.
is how our names start. And we've given most people in our family or who are closely related to us B names. So our sister Emma, we call her Beatrice.
Okay.
Originally Bertha, but she underwent a name change.
Okay.
Her boyfriend Derek, I called him Barrick originally, but now we call him Bonty.
No, it's the other way around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Bonty, and now he wants to be called Bear.
Oh, right, yeah. And then she has a friend, Amy, who we call Bam. Her boyfriend in Ireland, Liam, we call him Barry.
And when I went on my exchange to Singapore, Everett made me comics, so I wouldn't forget our story.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so I can sort of go into depth about these, just so we kind of know the backstory, because it's important to document amazing things like these for the general public's understanding, because our relationship's very hard to explain.
Yes.
And very weird from the outside. So
everyone's probably lost already.
That's okay.
It's okay.
So we kind of started. This isn't the first comic I made, but this is kind of where the story begins. How the bet became big.
Right.
So basically, this is all fiction, but
I hope so.
It's supposed to be kind of envisioned, and that this is kind of how this all started. Yeah, in a fun way. So basically, before I was part of the story, Bet wasn't that big. She was kind of fat, but not very huge. And she just sat in her home all day watching TV. And then her mom told her to go outside and lose some weight. And so Bet tried to leave and go to the gym, but then she got stuck in the doorway. And so they had to call in the fire department to try and pull her out. But anyway, they pulled her. She would just grow bigger and fatter. Her fat would move, but she wouldn't move until she was just this giant thing, and she broke the house. So she was just kind of left standing there in this big ruins of a house, and she was the biggest living creature on the planet.
Explaining this now, it seems a lot weirder.
Big Bet.
That's okay.
This is how you became Big Bet.
Yeah, and then the next comic, which this is the first one I wrote, how the Bat and the Bits became friends.
Right.
I was going to a Tim Hortons. I wasn't really part of the family, I guess. I was just going to a Tim Hortons one day, and this was in the land of fat, so everyone was a little fat. And then I'm in line at the Tim Hortons thinking about what to order, and then suddenly this giant creature steps through the ceiling of the Tim Hortons, and, well, she breaks the Tim Hortons as well. It's like she broke her house. The Bat's just walking around, eating people, crushing things, and then she's boasting about how strong and big she is, and then she realizes that Bits, I'm just standing there looking at her. And she's like, oh, why aren't you running from me? Aren't you scared of me? And I say, not really. And she's kind of like, oh. And then they sort of start talking, and then they realize that they have a lot in common, and that they're quite misunderstood, both of them. And then together they sort of become friends in this world that doesn't really appreciate them for who they are. And together they realize they are bigger than life and they can conquer any challenges.
If they're together.
Exactly.
We're together.
Right?
Our most recent thing is we trained for the TC 10K together. We exercise together.
We stretch together, we
Go to
eat
Tim
together,
Hortons
we go to Tim Hortons, yeah.
together. Go on walks.
We
Go to the movies sometimes.
play cards.
Yeah, we play a lot of cards.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of, we're just together a lot
We
in the
are.
house.
In the
Even if
house.
we're doing different things, we're
Yeah.
sort of just in the same realm.
In the same realm you're in together.
I'll
Okay.
drive you to school or soccer or not
That's true.
soccer track.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for siblings that aren't as close as us, maybe take the time to get to know each other. You don't know what you're missing until you, I don't know, get to know your sibling, and who knows,
Right.
they could become your best friend. I definitely missed you a lot.
I'm very forgetful, so I'll agree to speak to her or FaceTime her every few days, and then I'll kind of forget. I'm just lost in my own life because I have to love myself too,
Right.
Yeah.
and take care of my own needs. So,
That's true.
yes.
I mean, if we get mad at each other for simple things, then 5 minutes later, I really hate being mad at him, and I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Love me again.
I hate being mad at myself too. So
Well, I definitely see him as my brother, but also my best friend.
Right? Okay, nice.
and a baby.
And a baby.
Big baby.
And you're the baby of the family.
Man-child.
Clearly, you're the man-child. Yes. Okay, awesome.